Hello boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this is Defub21 and surprise, 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 another video game trailer. It wasn't too long ago, and by that I mean only a couple of years, where one could expect after E3 to go into the rest of the summer months, and then after the initial surge of titles in November, plus one or two stragglers in December, that things would be pretty damn quiet. You get the reviews would be out, it'd be the advertising, trailers would be out for the games at launch, and that would be pretty much it, and it would be dead. You certainly wouldn't get trailers for games that aren't coming out for a couple of months or even more. But that is exactly what we're getting here today. This is a new trailer for Total War Warhammer. It's the Grimgor Ironhide campaign trailer, and this game is out, I believe, well, it's scheduled to be out on the 28th of April next year, 2016, and we're getting I think this is the second or the third campaign trailer at this point. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yes, it is a campaign trailer. Obviously, we'll well, again, how things have changed. It seems that all year round is advertising and PR time these days for video games, and this constant flow of stuff coming, which I suppose in a way is good for me because it provides me with plenty of things to comment on and post on ye olden YouTube. So in a way it's kind of good, but in another way it means I get no bloody peace. But again, we'll have to look at this. It's running in the source trailer is in 1080p 60 frames a second. So if you have access to a web browser that can view YouTube 1080p 60 frames a second, I'd highly recommend you do so to take advantage of the full visual glory. And apparently it's all in-engine, as the previous trailers have been, which is frankly a good thing, because it's kind of somewhat representative of what and actually not just in-engine but using in-game assets apparently. So it's may actually be quite, unlike most trailers, or certainly trailers some time ago, these days pure CGI that's nothing to do with actually what will be in the game is becoming less and less common. But it should be hopefully pretty indicative of what the final product will actually look like, and the game does seem to be in a pretty advanced state of development, so that April 28th release date may in fact be a realistic one. But we'll have to have a look at this trailer, and I'll have a look at it now, and I'll let you know what I think afterwards. For the moment, toodaloo.
Oh, almighty Grimgor Ironhide. It troubles me to trouble you. While you're thinking. But the lads are wondering who's next. What about Angrim's lot? Those ginger stunties down at the Slayer Keep. It's a bit of a slog, but it'll be worth it. Umis then? I bet those pretty little cities burn lovely. bigger and spikier than normal. Time to move, boss. Time to fight. Give the order. Yeah, the order. Say it, say it.
Well, for those who may have forgotten, this is, again, Defub21, and, well, as I said, is it the best trailer in terms of visuals or graphics I've ever seen, or that you've ever seen? No. But it is, again, according to the trailer, all in-game assets running in-engine. So it's a pretty accurate depiction of what the game will actually look like, or should hopefully look like when it does eventually come out, whether it's on the 28th of April or later than that, if they get if they delay development for any or delay the release for any reason. I would say, what's the first thing that comes to mind? It's no surprise, yes, that's it. It's no surprise that the orc, vocals, the talking by the, what are those little things called? They're called Gretchen in Warhammer 40k. I can't remember what they're called in the Warhammer universe, but it's no surprise that the voice acting is as good as it is, because, again, Creative Assembly is owned by publisher Sega, which also owns Relic, who are located, I believe, in Canada, who make both the Company of Heroes games. I'm a huge fan of those, and the Dawn of War series of games, which of course pretty prominently figure the orcs as one of the main playable factions. So again, if you can get, again, if you can look at that trailer, and if you can look at this video in 1080p 60 frames a second, please do so. It looks very good. What it will take in terms of particularly graphics chip capabilities to be able to run the game at that resolution, at that frame rate, with those visual settings, who knows. There's going to be new NVIDIA monster cards coming out next year with a second generation 3D memory on them, HBM, effectively NVIDIA's answer to those first gen cards from ATI that came out this year. Rumors as much as 16 gigs of RAM and a terabyte of main RAM bandwidth, which would be crazy. Jump over what we've seen to date. I mean, compared to my NVIDIA GTX 970, I mean, my card would be puny in comparison to that such a machine, if such a card, if those specs that have been reported are correct. I would easily be able to handle that. To go, how expensive such graphics cards would be. It's a different situation entirely. And also, being a kind of a strategy game, is it going to be CPU limited? Is that going to be an issue? Again, this is me kind of PC gamer here thinking, what am I going to need to run this? And its nicest settings at 1080p 60 frames a second. I say 1080p because I've a couple of years ago my PC monitor went kaput, and I've been had to use my TV and my HD TV as a substitute, and I got kind of used to playing on a 40-inch screen, and I really don't want to go back to something smaller. So if 1080p is the price to pay for that, so be it. But again, sound very good, voice acting, very good, at least to the same standard as you see in the Warhammer 40k games by Relic, Dawn of War as they're called, and a good look at the kind of the overall overworld strategy map. You can kind of, again, like very much kind of Total War games, you can move your army or armies about. Again, like the previous trailers that showed in-game footage and in-game assets rendered as, you know, as trailers, no indication yet as to what the situation is with the overworld game. Do you actually get to build cities or bases or manage them in any way, any kind of resource management? Is that like maybe for the humans only, or the other faction and the dwarves maybe, or other factions get to use it like the orcs? And how would you have an orc economy? I mean, how would you put that together? I don't know. Again, the one negative, which is in the trailer at the end, again reminding the bad news from the previous trailer, which is that one of the actual playable factions, the Chaos Warriors, is in fact pre-order DLC. Now, whether there is another Chaos faction that you get to play in the game, in the single player campaign, I think there is. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a bit late here, so maybe my head's a bit fuzzy on that. But what looks to be on disc DLC effectively, that you have to pay extra for if you don't pre-order, kind of annoys me. And you know, again, these days, as long as the reviews are up within, say, 24 to 48 hours before the game comes out, I can always pre-order it on Amazon or buy it digitally, one or the other, and get the pre-order bonus, I suppose. But it's a kind of a it's a nasty trend, and a trend I dislike. And I, along with a lot of people I think out there would agree with me, would wish it would go away. I'm not, you know, post-release DLC, I'm not opposed to that, but this kind of pre-order stuff, particularly for a playable faction, is a bit, you know, annoying. And I just don't like it at all. I could complain and complain and complain, but I really should avoid doing that, so I will. But overall, good trailer. Again, much more inherently more truthful than most video game trailers, because it is, you know, it's completely in-game rendered using in-game assets, so it is genuinely representative of what the game will look like, at least if you're running it on a decent rig. So thumbs up for that, and thumbs down for that bloody on the disc DLC for an entire faction. And again, I'm looking forward to this. If it's, you know, I'm big fan of, not so much Warhammer, but I very much was a big fan of the Dawn of War games. And if you look them up, Shadow of the Horned Rat, and there was another one, these were these two earlier kind of RTS type games where you controlled Warhammer armies. Those were pretty good. I think you can get them on Good Old Games if you're interested, maybe on Steam too, and take a look at those. But those were good. I enjoyed playing those. Didn't complete either of them, but I liked playing both of them. I think they were I've played them at a friend's house, so this has definitely got me interested. I have to admit, I've bought one or two of the other Total War games, but I never really played them very aggressively, to my shame. So again, I'm interested, and if it hits its release date, 28th of April, which, considering that's a couple of months away, I would imagine there'll be some slowdown, you know, around November and in January for it because of the holidays. But I think that's, you know, that's a realistic target release date for them. I would be, you know, if it does get delayed, it'll either be because they want to put an extra level of polish on it, which would make me more enthusiastic. If that's the case, get them, you know, really good high quality product, one, or two, they've hit some kind of serious snag in development and it's causing them trouble. But hopefully, again, since this is a kind of PC only thing, hopefully we won't be looking at another Batman Arkham Knight situation where it's how long has it been now? 5 or 6 months since the game came out and it's still not up to snuff. I don't know. I've got a few videos of me playing it on the on my channel, if you want to have a look at those, of Batman Arkham Knight, just to see what I'm talking about. I mean, I had got a relatively inoffensive experience, but then again, I'd running it off an SSD with a GTX 970, so I was pretty okay. Again, this is me going completely off topic, I apologize. But as I said, good trailer, representative, unlike most trailers, of what the game will look like with running on a decent PC. So 2 thumbs up for that, and 1 thumb down for the, again, reminding me about the what is effectively on disc DLC of an entire playable faction I don't have access to. Very annoying, even if I can get it with a pre-order. Anyway, this is Defub21. If you enjoyed this video, this trailer and my commentary on it, please let me know in the comments. Please like the video. Please leave your views in the comments. I do respond to comments, so you won't be shouting out into the void. And if you like this video, take a look at my channel, and if you like what you see there, please feel free to subscribe. This is Defub21 signing off. Toodaloo.